Hey guys, what is up? My name is Cam. Welcome back to my channel. As many of you may or may not know, I go to the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, or UNCSA, and this is how I got in. Stay tuned. Alright, so if you are new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below, as well as a notification bell right next to it so you never miss another one of my videos. I try to post every Tuesday and Thursday, and I post natural hair commentary and lifestyle videos. And if you want to keep up with me outside of social media, you can follow me on all of it. Everything will be linked down below, as well as on the screen right here. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so first things first. I know I say that in every video. I need to shut up. But this is how I got into UNCSA. So I'm going to break this video down into 3 separate parts. The first part that I'm going to be talking about is pre-UNCSA, so high school, and then the second part will be the application process, and then after that will be the interview process. So I got into technical theater at the end of my freshman year of high school, but I didn't get into lighting specifically until the beginning of my sophomore year of high school. So after I started getting heavily into technical theater and lighting, I wanted to get my hands on anything that I could that was technical theater and lighting related that I had at my disposal and that I could access. So the next summer, so the summer after my sophomore year, I sought out an internship, and I interned for this one production company over the summer, and that gave me a little bit of feel of what it was like to work in a shop. And I did quite a few corporate shows as well, but it wasn't very theater oriented. A lot of the theater experience that I got was from high school and was from like community theater. And I forgot to preface this, but I went to a high school that had a visual and performing arts magnet program, and one of the departments, if you even want to call it that, was technical theater. And so that's kind of how I even got into technical theater to begin with, so just saying. But yeah, I did corporate events and I did theater through my high school and through community sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Once I realized that I wanted to possibly pursue technical theater through college, it was the beginning of my junior year of high school. And a little known fact about me, I was a year ahead of my class in high school just because I started high school a year early. Let's not get into that, but I was finished with all of my, I was basically taking senior classes as a junior, and I was in a college prep class as a junior. So my teacher had me do a bunch of college prep things, but since I couldn't actually submit applications and do things like that, I was just basically searching for schools and narrowing down my top school options. So when I realized I wanted to do technical theater and pursue it through college and get my degree in lighting, I started looking for schools that had lighting programs, because I knew that there were schools that had technical theater programs, but I was really gung-ho about wanting to go to a school that had a lighting specific program, because technical theater, if you know anything about it, it can get very broad, and I wanted to be able to concentrate on one thing. So that was the first thing. So I started my search for lighting specific programs at colleges and universities, and quickly my options narrowed down and down, okay? So because there are not a lot of schools that exist, there are not a lot of schools that exist that have a lighting specific program. So when I found UNCSA, I found them through searching technical theater, lighting programs, college, university, whatever. So that's how I found them. And the first thing that I saw was their website, which I'm pretty sure when I first clicked on their website, they had a picture from Photona. And if you don't know anything about UNCSA or Photona or anything, Photona is the light show that we have every year. And so obviously I'm looking for lighting. And so I'm like, Photona, that looks cool. So let me check it out. And so I found out that they had a lighting specific program, and I was really excited, and I wanted to try to plan a visit. So that is another thing. I had to visit the school before I decided that it was the school that I want to go to, just because like, you never know. You never know. And I know right now during all of this crazy world madness stuff that's going on, it's going to be really, really hard to get out and visit schools that you may potentially want to go to. But for me and my like college journey, it was one of the most important things that I did was visiting the school. So after I put UNCSA on my top choice list, I'm pretty sure at that point it was like number 2 or 3, I planned to visit the school the next summer. So the summer right before my senior year of high school. So I visited the school that summer and I quickly fell in love. The campus is very small, the population is very small, and one thing that I was really kind of finicky about as far as college and university was having a large campus, because the more students you have, the less personable your relationships become, especially between students and professors. So I really wanted a smaller campus just because the community is a little bit tighter and you can get more, I guess, what am I trying to say? You can get more, not specialized time with professors, but it's more concentrated time with professors. It's not so broad. You're not sitting in lecture halls with 200 plus people. So I learned better that way as well. So that was like a plus for me. And also they had like a lighting shop that was crazy. All of their shops in the School of Design and Production are crazy. Like, oh my gosh, I was blown away, especially coming from a school that was very, very like, tech was underfunded. The arts were underfunded, but mainly tech was underfunded. So seeing that, my mind was like blown. I was sold. So I got information, a lot of information during the tour, and right after the tour, UNCSA became my number 1 school. It was my top choice. Coming home from the UNCSA tour, I was really, really determined to start the process of laying out everything that I wanted for my application process, because I knew at that point, I knew that that's the school that I wanted to go to the most out of any other school, and I want to make sure that I did everything that I could to get in. So I started narrowing down my resume. I started pulling my portfolio together. I was doing everything, and I started the application process basically not having anything really together other than a resume, because I'd worked quite a few shows, both corporate, theatrical, dance, everything pretty much. So I'd worked a lot of shows, but getting my portfolio together was incredibly hard, because in the midst of working all of these shows, I didn't really take pictures. And in order to put together a portfolio, you need pictures. So I was looking stupid. I played myself pretty much. So I was trying my best to scrounge pictures together, because like I was pulling them from high and low, far and near. I was just, I don't know, because I didn't take pictures, because the tech department at my school was 4 people big, and because we had to do every single show that ran through the theater, I never stopped to think about taking photos. However, my school did have a photographer take photos of all of the major stage, like all of the main stage shows that we did, but my school was giving me a really hard time accessing that stuff, so I was pretty much all on my own. And so putting together my portfolio, gosh, it looked so poor. It was so bad. Like, I'm ashamed of it. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm ashamed, because it wasn't everything that I wanted. But nevertheless, I still pulled it together enough to be able to submit it with my application. Now, another thing with the UNCSA application specifically for, or at least I think this is specifically for the School of Design and Production. I could be wrong, I don't know. I only applied to the School of Design and Production. But you have to write an artistic statement, which is basically an essay about how you got into your specific art and what makes you passionate about it, and all of that sort of stuff. So I wrote my artistic statement. It took me a couple weeks to really write something that I felt like I was proud of. I'm pretty sure it was over 5 pages long. Don't do that, that's excessive. And I'm pretty sure lighting faculty hated me for it because they had to read 5 or 6 pages worth of, I don't know, don't do that, it's excessive. But I don't know, it took me 5, 6 pages, 7 pages, 8 pages to get my point across, so that is how long mine was. But don't do that. I'm pretty sure they have shortened. It can only be 1 page now. Pretty sure that's because of me, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, I did all of that, and then I had to set my interview date. And the thing about lighting in the School of Design and Production at UNCSA is it's becoming one of the more popular majors at my school, and so it's very high traffic. So when I submitted my application, it was November 1st, and I couldn't get an interview until January 26th. So getting into the interview, guys, I was crapping my pants. I was so nervous, and the thing that's funny about it now is because obviously I know my faculty and I know that it's not that deep. It's really not that deep, but I was so nervous. I was so intimidated. I felt so like, I don't know. I was insecure. I didn't have an ounce of confidence, but I knew that I was gonna do whatever it took to get into the school. And so pretty much I just went into the interview and I just laid it all out on the table. They asked to look at my resume. Well, when you're in your interview, they basically have your entire application open so they can see your transcript, your resume. You have to bring in a physical portfolio for them to look at. And they're pretty much looking over your entire life. And so I basically I laid it all on the table. I said, this is what I want to do. I am going to do it by any means necessary. I don't care. I just want to learn. Like, that is my ultimate goal here. And I would love it if you guys could help me. On my interview day, you basically got a whole other tour of the school. They gave you a lot of information, and then they took everybody who was interviewing that day to one room, and we sat and waited to be called in. But lighting was actually kind enough to pull all of the lighting students or all of the prospective lighting students that were interviewing that day, and they took us all to the e-shop and let us talk to some of the students that were there about their time. And they just let us hang out, I guess, to take less pressure off of us before our interview. And then from the e-shop we were called into our interview, so that loosened me up a little bit, but I was still scared out of my mind, I'm not even going to lie. And I had mixed feelings after I got out of the interview. I was like, well, that either went really bad or it went really well. I can't really tell, because like both of the faculty that were in my interview were like face stone cold, no emotion, no nothing. And I was just in the corner. Then after my interview, I was invited to sit in on a tech rehearsal of the Winter Opera, and that was later that evening. So I went there and I got a chance to hang out with the production electrician of the show and my tour guide, who also happened to be a lighting student at the time. And that was really, really fun. I talked more about the school, and I got a lot of actual like information, not just like tourist information that they give you. So, that was super, super cool. And I felt like not at a crossroads, but I felt like halfway. I felt 50-50. I said like either I got in or I didn't. And every time I thought about getting my acceptance letter, my stomach would fall through my butt, and I don't know. I don't know. 2 weeks later, I got my acceptance letter, and it's different for everyone. Some people from my class, I heard they got their acceptance letter 3 days after their interview, a month after their interview, 6 weeks after their interview. One guy got an acceptance on the spot, but they rarely ever do that in lighting. I don't know. I haven't heard of them doing that, but yeah. And I was really excited. I could not believe that I got in. I was like, I felt so honored. And now I'm realizing that it's not that deep, but yeah, I felt honored, and I feel that it is a massive privilege to be able to go to the school that I go to. It's such a specialized education, and they have so many resources and so many of the things that I would never have access to if I didn't go to this school. So I'm really excited, and I love learning, guys. I'm such a nerd, but I love learning, and even though sometimes it's really hard for me, like right now, I don't care because I like learning anyway. And even at the end of the day, when my brain has turned into mush, I still like learning, and I'm so glad that I get to be at UNCSA and that I get to learn, and that I get to learn from the people that I'm learning from, and that I get to learn with the people that I'm learning with. It's such a unique experience, and if you ever decide that you may even want to maybe possibly go to UNCSA, whether it's for the School of Design and Production or not, I would recommend it, especially if you like hanging around artists all the time, because it's lit. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much how I got into UNCSA. Again, if you want me to share my tips and tricks on how I think you can, I guess, heighten your chances of getting accepted into UNCSA, specifically for the School of Design and Production, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell right next to it so you never miss another one of my videos. I try to post every Tuesday and Thursday, and if you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all of my social media. I will have everything linked down below as well as on the screen right here. And that is it for this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.